Hey, Dean, when you're done, can you shut off the light? Okay. My drink. Thank you very much. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Elaine Marilakis Edelson here with Astrology Mojo. Want to help you get your mojo back. Well, happy full moon in Aries. Here we are. I have a purple mouse. I have a purple drink. And I'm feeling quite purple today. All right, come say hello to me. We're going to talk about. Oh, first of all, if you're new to me and you don't know that I say that the planets in astrology do not make you do anything. We live in a cooperation with the cosmos, so that when the planets make a move, you feel it. When you make a move, it's reflected, a mirror image in the universe by way of aspects and angles in astrology. So basically, astrology tells you what time it is. So what time is it? It is now. And we're going to be talking about the full moon in Aries. Earth has one moon. One. Can you imagine living on Jupiter or Uranus? They have so many moons. You know, you're looking at your, what do I do today? I don't know. Which moon is doing what? So when I tell you that the planets don't make you do anything, I mean that. However, you do feel things, and you feel everything that's happening. And when the sun and the moon are doing what they're doing, you're feeling that too, whether or not you're aware of it. And so when I talk about planets, sometimes I will include the sun and the moon. However, they're not planets. They are celestial orbs. And without the moon, we would tumble out of orbit and drown in tsunamis. That's a fact. Without the sun, we would freeze, right? And starve. So, come join me. That was a happy intro. Yeah, we're going to freeze and we're going to starve. We're going to drown. Locusts are on their way. Let me just look at the charts. Okay, so I actually have a chart to show you today, so we could talk about some of the amazingly wild astrological aspects that are happening in October. So hi, Lucy. Come say hello, everybody else. Okay, so October 1st is today, 2020. If you're watching this in a replay, or perhaps you're watching this live, you can always catch the rest of it on YouTube or here on Facebook. But the general definitions will apply, but specific ones are for now. So, a moon goes through a cycle, approximately 28 days. When there is a full moon, the sun will always be in the opposite sign. So now we are in the sun sign of Libra. And then that means the full moon is in Aries, because Aries is opposite Libra. Now, what's really fascinating about this month, we're going to talk about Pluto going direct, Mars in retrograde squaring the Capricorn trio of Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn. And Saturn and Jupiter are already direct in Capricorn, which means that we're gearing up. Got to get it going. Got to get it going on. What do we want to do? How do we want to do it? Got to clean my glasses. And Mercury in retrograde begins October 13th, ish, because it depends on where you are in the world, but October 13th. And it's in Scorpio. And then the second full moon, we're having two this month in October. The first one's at 9 degrees of Aries. That's today, October 1st, 2 something in the afternoon, Pacific Standard Time. And the second full moon is in Taurus, 8 degrees of Taurus, and it's going to conjunct Uranus. We have such an explosive month. There you are. Okay. Okay, cool. So let's get on with the show. Let me show you what I have to show you. Hang on. Wait a minute. October. There. Oh. It worked before. Why isn't it working now? It's supposed to get rid of the shadow. And my dog is tippy-tapping around me like, I want to eat now. I want to eat again. I want to eat now. I want to eat again. I want to eat now. I want to eat. It's like, stop it. Oh my gosh. Okay. So what I'm wondering is, how is everyone feeling? Oh, Rhonda's here as well. How is everybody doing? I've got like stray hairs tickling my face. So let's take a look at this, shall we? This is going to be very exciting. This is the month at a glance. Even though it says October 13th, we're actually looking at many things happening at once. So the full moon today, we don't see it on this chart because I've already passed it and the moon travels very quickly. So the full moon today, October 1st, 2020, is at 9 degrees of Aries. And the moon is in Aries, retrograde. Mars is in Aries retrograde. The moon is in Aries full. So when we have two full moons in 1 month, it happens every approximately 18 months-ish. It depends on the calendar year and the calculations, all that. But anyway, so the first moon today is opposite the sign of the sun of Libra. When we move into Scorpio sun, then we're going to have a Taurus full moon on the 31st, also known as a Gallic holiday, Celtic holiday known as Samhain. It looks like it's spelled Sam Hain. Yeah, Sam Hain and I go back way back into high school. So Samhain is, we'll talk about that more as the days progress, but the whole month energy is that of huge realization and action, but there's delays around the action. So you need to pace yourself. You need to pace yourself because the energy of a full moon is that of completion. What am I done with? New moon is beginnings. Full moon's endings. And so we have two endings this month. And that leads us to, well, what are the other aspects pointing out to in our world to what's happening? Well, let's talk about first the full moon in Aries. It's got the potential, because you're feeling it. Some people will feel it more than others, but it's got the potential to keep you up for long hours. Like, oh, wow, I can't sleep. I'm wide awake in America or in Europe or wherever, down under. What do I do? So it's a very energetic time, being in a fire sign, and it's also a time of coming to terms with what you're done with, which leads us to the Mars square, the triad right over here. We've got Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter in Capricorn. Now this is by October 4th, Pluto is now going to station direct. And Venus will ingress into Virgo. And it's going to be unaspected. What does that mean? Do I have Venus here? Wait, where is she? There she is. So by the 13th, she's 13 degrees of Virgo, but and she will have aspects, but in the first couple of days, she will be unaspected. It's like no holds barred. Wild card. And in Virgo, critical wild card. Yeah, did we fact check that? Is that true? Get somebody in here to fact check that, because that's not true, and I demand the truth. Then we have Mars in retrograde in Aries, representing the part of you that is just, I got to get going. Can we start? Can we get back to business? Oh, right. Business is not as usual anymore, is it? But what is it for you? That's what you need to figure out now. And in November, Mars will go direct again. But right now, and then we have 2 eclipses. I'm so excited. There's so much happening. Okay. So with Mars making a square, and you see these red squares, they are 90-degree angles within 8 degrees either side. And what it represents in astrology is that's not comfortable. What is that? What's poking me in the ribs? Quit it. What's tapping me on the shoulder? Stop. What's trying to get my attention? That doesn't feel right. Now, a lot of people, some people might want to go the more impulsive route, which is frustration, war, violence, protests, complaints, aggravation, frustration, up to here. That's part of this because of the old guard. The changing of the guards comes soon, folks. In December, Saturn and Jupiter will ingress into Aquarius. And so then we're left with Pluto like, yeah, we got some work to do. You're not done. But what aren't we done with? Attitudes, behaviors, psychological patternings that leave you feeling like a victim, that cause you to blame, that, we're looking at all the authority figures in religion, in government, in the healthcare systems around the world. This is global. Outer planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto, and there's Uranus, we'll talk about that in a sec, represent the collective consciousness. So deep down, on a personal level, we look at Mars is personal planet, Venus. Wait a minute, I can't. Now I can. Let's make it a little smaller. Why don't I do that? Okay. There we go. So it causes you, not really, it's the timing of things. You're causing you. Situations happen that ask you to say, are you good with that? Is that okay with you? Is this behavior okay with you? Your behavior and theirs, whoever they are. And if it's not, then you have to take onus, not responsibility for someone. Saturn is the responsible energy planet. It's what represents responsibility. So if you're ready to conclude some business, I'm done with this person, I'm done with this attitude, I'm done with this behavior, I'm done with this law, I'm done with this edict, I'm done with this attitude, yours or someone else's. Now, it's always going to start from you, so start there. It's easier instead of pointing the finger. But sometimes you are going to come to this month a place of, what just happened? What did they say? I can't, no. Really? And then it brings up the emotional, I am not a victim. Why did they take that from me? So you go through that initial crank phase of, I can't believe that just happened. Now with Mars involved, please, whoever you are, please protect your blood system. If you know that you're anemic, do what you got to do. Talk to your doctors, research what's necessary, eat the necessary and proper foods. If you go bike riding, if you are on a motorcycle, a moped, or if you're on in a car, crossing the street, do whatever. The head, the eyes, the blood system, the temper. What's your temperament right now? It's getting sick and tired of the old guard. No, I can't. How many circles do you go through with insurance matters? Now this all depends on where Mars and Capricorn is in your natal chart. So if you know that, you know approximately what kind of subjects are going to come up. So just take care of driving, not speeding, not driving way under the limit where you could cause an accident, where you're not paying attention because you're fueled by something and you're distracted. Now, in comes Mercury in retrograde. Let me say hello very quickly. Hi, 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 come say hello to me. We're talking about the full moons and what they're going to highlight. The moon casts a glow on your emotional self, on your financial self, on the flow of you. We've got 2 full moons this month, Aries and Taurus. And the full moon is always opposite the sun sign. So because we're in Libra right now, today, October 1st, the full moon is in Aries. Aries is opposite Libra. So what else are we looking at? And in fact, today it's exactly opposite. You see 21 degrees Libra, 21 degrees Aries. So it's like a pulling up, stretching out the dough. It's pulling the elastic back. It's got the, where is that slingshot going to aim? Well, let it be towards something proactive, something exciting. I'm getting a lot of messages that this video is not primo. Can you guys hear me? Okay, now it's green. Maybe I was talking too loud. I got too excited. Mars is on my Mercury. I have no problem saying no. So setting boundaries is going to be a big issue. Setting boundaries, saying no. But, working with the collective authority figures. Well, what does the government require now? Our kid had their car broken into. Their wallet was stolen. And, they had to deal with that mess. And, trying to get in touch with the DMV. Yeah. Wow. So I just said, just imagine that things are working out for you, that you'll get the help that you need, even if you don't know how. So let's just work the energy in our favor, people, because if things are starting to happen now and you don't understand what's happening and you get frustrated, tempers are such now that patience has run out. But it's not like there's a jar of liquid patience and you're like, oh no, the well is dry. You have a choice to be patient. I'd like you to exercise that right. Momentarily, minute by minute by minute by minute. I keep moving on. Okay, so now, mid-month, we're already in the pre-phase. When a planet moves out and in of retrograde motion, when it stations retrograde or stations direct, there is a hiccup, a bump in the road, a sudden realization, oh, wait a second, I've been calling this number trying to get insurance paperwork and I just realized I'm calling the wrong number. No wonder I'm frustrated. So wherever possible, talk to people on the phone, if you can get a hold of them, in a way that is polite and don't just hurl I've been on waiting for 20 minutes, they're just you. They're people like you doing their jobs, right? My husband and I made an appointment to get the yellow star for travel put on our license. Okay, there's a couple of issues right there. We went to Footwork here in Arizona. We have a company called Footwork, and they are an extension of the motor vehicles. You walk in, they hand you something to drink. There's 2 chairs. There's no waiting. It's great. You don't pay anything extra. It's great. They don't have that around the country. I wish they did, especially for our kid right now in Portland. But the thing is, who thought of the yellow star? Like a 32-year-old 28-year-old, someone who did not read history? Can you imagine all the Jewish people who have to go and get a yellow star put on their license, or Polish people, or you understand what I'm saying? Who thought of that? That's going to be my first question that I want to hurl it. I just got that, but I'm not. We go tomorrow and I'm going to just ask very politely, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate this. It's such a convenience. We don't have to wait in line at the DMV. It was so easy to book an appointment. Thank you. I'm so grateful. Just have a question for you. Regarding that yellow star we're getting put on our licenses. Yeah, who thought of that? Couldn't be a purple triangle? A red circle? Yellow star? Really? Okay, that's my rant. Now, let's move on. When mid-month comes around and Mercury stations retrograde, you're going to feel that in Scorpio. 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 I see what's going on behind the scenes. Opposing Uranus. This might sound like, I don't know what you're talking about. Let's put it into people terms. Let's just say you have to make a decision and you're looking for the answer. And it has to do with religion, spirituality, politics, insurance, career, law enforcement, legalities, financial investments, relationship issues. You're saying something just doesn't, I don't know which way to go. Go is momentum. Mars is momentum, it's go. Moon is the feeling of flow. Mercury is the communication. Wait a minute, I feel like I'm missing something. Did I get everything I needed? And then in Scorpio, it's investigative. Breaking news, this just in. Here's what we discovered. I'm also researching now things that are going on in the center of the Earth. We don't know if it's a false claim. I haven't read the article yet, but is there a black hole at the center of the Earth? I don't know. That's an article I saw, caught my eye. I catch these things and then I email them to myself. I see them on my phone and then I email them to myself so I can read them on a computer that's a lot bigger than 2 inches. So before you make any rash moves, especially since right now Venus is unaspected, wild card, random, woohoo, jumping into bed with somebody sexually, financially, economically, friendship-wise, any-wise, depending on where Venus is in your chart right now. If you know where Leo to Virgo is, early numbers, like 0 to 8 degrees. So what is it that you want to get clear on? What is it that you'd like to feel emotionally okay about? Of course, in America, we're coming up on a vote. And that's a very heated topic right now. And it doesn't matter what you think you hear. You have to know it in here, in your body. How do you feel? Some people are quick to judge. Some people are quick to assume. Some people are quick to blame. Let's not be those people. Let's be the people who say, I need to do what's right and correct and truthful for me. The truth. Pluto is on October 4th going direct. So when the truth starts to emerge, Mercury in Scorpio opposing Uranus in Taurus, which is going to conjunct the Taurus full moon on October 31st. That is like, stand back, clear. It's going to feel like, what was that? And that can mean you're using a knife, you're not paying attention, you cut your finger. You're riding your bike. Screw the helmet. I'm only going down the block. Somebody distracts you. A car comes around you weren't seeing. Boom. Your tire breaks in the middle of somewhere and you don't have your cell phone on you. And now you got to, what? Do you leave the bike? Do you carry it? Hurt your back that you injured a week ago? So there's going to be a lot of minor frustrations that could lead to one big explosion. But we're not going to go there, are we? Are we? No, we're not. Darlene says, I'm a Scorpio. Then it's time to uncover and discover more things about what you truly believe and what you value during this time frame in this month. And also for everyone, it's really a great time to consider when you're faced with making a decision. Like we just had a roof put on our home a few weeks ago, and the guy brought the sand. He's a really nice guy, great company. Shore Build is who we used here in town, and 5 guys. Boom! It was done in 5 hours. 5 hours. They ripped it apart to put a new one on. We went to a hotel for the day, and I just drove by to take the dog out, and it was 2:00 in the afternoon, and there was nobody here. I thought, honey, they're done. Let's go home. Let's go home. So, but when we were picking out the color for the roof, we saw it, the tiles inside the house, in our garage actually. Then we took them outside, put them against the house twice, different times of day. Then we considered, what if we want to paint the house? Then we considered the durability, all the reviews, so we took a lot of things into consideration. How long it would take, how much it would cost, were there any benefits to go with it? Did we get a discount on anything? Were there coupons online? We just ran the gamut. This is how we approach things so that it's not an impulse. Oh, I love that color. Let's do that. And the manager also said, drive around, find some homes you like and take pictures of the roof. And we didn't see any of that in the samples. We didn't see what we liked. So we picked a color. We love it. And now at different times of day, it either looks gray or it looks dark green. So we could paint our house dark green or we could paint our house gray and it would go. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the full picture. You want that now before you start to make decisions about how am I going to get there? What am I going to do? No rash decisions, and wait. Something's going to be uncovered if you can wait, if you can find patience right now. I know you have it. What's the impulse? Like, I'm done. Just whatever. What do you have? What do you have? Just give me whatever kind of cheese you have. No. I want baby Swiss. I'll wait 5 minutes so you go back in the freezer or wherever you're going to go get it. I'll wait. So that you get what you want and get what you need, you have to take action in a very empowering way right now this month. And, there's not a political forum. I am not talking politics, but it is a big topic that can create a lot of heated emotions. So before you want to go there, get informed, but then turn off the TV and just think about what needs to happen, what needs to get done. And not, if they enact that law, if this one gets elected, if we're, blah, blah, blah. It's more about, okay, on the collective, it's like when someone is ill and people say, oh, pray for this person that this happens for them, that this happens for them. And I say, well, how do you know that this is what's the best thing for them? So when I send energy to people who are not feeling well or undergoing a stressful situation, I don't direct what I think they need. I send them energy so that when they are ready, they feel empowered to make a decision with all the facts in place. That's where I put my thoughts. Let this person be empowered with love, light, the energy from inner, outer divinity, from starseed, galactic councils, planetary energies, from all the light that can help them and guide them. That's what I see. Not, let's pray that they don't have to have an operation. How do we know in the long run that the operation isn't the best thing for them? I'm not going to make that decision. Are you? So again, when it comes to making a choice or a decision or wanting something, it's not so much, don't take a vaccine because it'll kill you. Or, oh my gosh, you need a vaccine right now or you'll die. It's like we want to watch the extremes. Okay. Sun in Libra oppose Mars in Aries. There's going to be a lot of extremes right now. And with this full moon in Aries, it's going to be emotional and heated. And, but then it can flip. All right. So this is where you come in. You always come in with the power of your life. So you make a choice and you say, I want to go do that thing. Wait a minute. I keep vacillating. Okay, pay attention to that, because if you're vacillating on something, maybe you're being asked to pause. By whom? By your higher self, which is infinitely wiser than your ego mind. And there's nothing wrong with the ego at all. You understand what I'm saying? You have to trust your feeling. And if you don't know how to feel, then find a way. There's so many tools you can use. EFT tapping, even though I'm really confused. I deeply and completely love and accept myself, even though I'm really, that 3 times, the whole circuit. And, or meditation or chanting or music or walking in nature, or turn off the phone. Because unless you have, unless you have disruptors, like EMF disruptors, turn it off anyway, or put it on. Okay, wait. So I've got shungite in my phone, and shungite is clinically proven. It is proven to keep the EMF waves off your body. So you get a shungite, you get, we have a Galaxy, I don't know what it's called, really. I mean, not my Galaxy phone, but there's a Galaxy sticker that I have on the back of my phone, right there. And what it does, and my doorbell's ringing. And what it does, did you vote? Are you signed up? Are you registered? How many more phone calls am I going to get? So it also reduces the EMF wave when the phone is doing its thing. So shungite is proven. You can get shungite stone. You can make it out of the noble shungite. You can drink the water. There's directions you can do that. So just taking in the collective, like, wow, this is a crazy time right now, but let's have a little fun. So last night, instead of watching more TV, which my husband and I, we love movies and shows, right? But instead, what we did was we played Scrabble. We put on our favorite music. We talked about going to concerts in our past before we met each other. So we brought up look at all the retrograde. No, wait. Okay. Mercury will be retrograde. Pluto is currently retrograde. This is October 13th, remember? So we're not there yet. Mars is retrograde. Uranus is retrograde. Neptune. Where's Neptune? Oh, there you are. Neptune's retrograde. So retrograde represents going within or going back in time and recalling things that worked for you, recalling behaviors, assessing your time from then to now. It's like, wow, look at where we are. I'm so grateful that, if I had to make this decision when I was 22, I'd be screwed. I'm so grateful for who I am now, because I have all that I need to make this decision. And that is the expression you want to have that will help you to be more and more present with what needs to happen. Now, if suddenly you're driving your car and somebody runs a stop sign and smashes into you, that happens. Make sure you're safe. Double check you've got collision on your insurance. So stuff's going to happen. But if you're vibing in a place that's not scattered, that accident can be deterred. That's how energy works. If you're scattered and you're crazy and you're like, oh my God, I got to get there, I got to go there, I got to do that, I got to bring my mask, I got to put this spray and the lotion and the thing and the phone and the charger, and I got to, and then you're driving scattered, that's your energy. You are more likely to attract like energy, or the exact opposite. So someone might just stop you and go, hey, you, slow down. In fact, I'm a police officer and you were speeding. So now you got to pay a ticket. Own it. Or if you're really calm and something like almost happens and somebody, whew, you're like, thank you, grateful, wow. I'm just going to take a minute and not enter the spin. There's no spinning allowed. Okay, so when Mercury in Scorpio is retrograde, there's going to be information that can be uncovered, not discovered. It's already been out there, but it's been buried. Something buried comes to light. And it pulls on, see the opposite energy of Uranus and Taurus? Taurus is very stable, practical, loyal. It's very down to earth. It can be very stubborn, but it's very aesthetic. And it needs to think about it. Wait, let me think about it. No, you got to move. You have to act now. I cannot act now. Do not force me to act now. And then Uranus is like the explosion that comes in. And it's the brainstorming idea of I got the solution. I know what we could do. Oh my gosh, it's brilliant. And then in Taurus, it's, okay, wait, let me just think this through a minute. And then opposite Scorpio, Mercury and Scorpio, it's, I wonder if anybody else has done this before. I'm going to go research it. You see how we can tie in, and this is because the planets only represent you, parts of you. They're not doing things to you. When we get to the full moon on the 31st, okay, a lot of people are going to have had it. But what can you do? Uranus represents astrology, music, space, science, technology. What can you, and Taurus, very practical. What can you use? What can you think? How can you realize, oh, I'm thinking outside the box? No, there are no boxes. No boxes. So what can you do for yourself to get in tune with? It's about fine-tuning your intuition so that you can then make the decisions that have greater impact on the collective. Boom. Make sense? Does that make sense? So if you're leaning toward, I can't sleep, well, then do something that makes you happy. Because as soon as you move your energy out of frustration and put it into a neutral territory, like, I'm not going to think about that right now. You know, when our child had, and they were crying and they feel terrible. They left their wallet in the car and they forgot and the car was broken into and it's like, oh, and I said, okay, get hysterical, get it out of your system. You're only 21. It's scary. And it throws you off axis. But after you take a breath, we're right here for you. You have roommates who are supportive. You have a boyfriend who's really supportive. You've got friends. There are people who can help you. You called the police, yes. And then they calmed down and they were on it. They already called the credit card company. They called, because they had a list of things that they had to cancel. And so everything's being rectified now. And I said, okay, so the moment you went from hysterics to now, what was it? It threw me because they were just going on 2 job interviews that week. And of course, now they can't get there. So they did a Zoom instead. They did Zoom interviews. So there's like, okay, we're using technology. We're using Uranus and Taurus. It's like, let's be practical. If I can't get there, well, how else can I get there? What's my momentum? How else can I do it? And if all the doors are slamming shut right now, you go, okay, why am I banging on the door? My grandmother, Yaya Lenny, who was illiterate but could do math. She owned a produce. She and her husband, my grandfather, owned a produce store, and she could do math in her head like nobody's business. And she used to say, translation, because she couldn't speak any English, but translation, you can bang on the deaf man's door all you want, he ain't going to hear you. So if you're forcing an issue, why? Because you're on a track and you can't let go, because it's like, I got to get it done. It's on my to-do list. It's like, no, it doesn't have to be. You can have, hey, let me think about that. My husband and I this morning, I suddenly, boom, thought about, remember the group Renaissance with Annie Haslam? Oh my gosh, I was 17 when I discovered her. And I said, I saw them in concert at Seton Hall, which was like 6 blocks away from me in New Jersey. I had the best time. And Dean said, oh my gosh, I remember Annie Haslam and Renaissance. Here's where I saw them. So we started talking about music. And so we're looking it up on our phones. It's like, what's that song? So we're playing it. It's like, isn't this a hoot? that you can redirect your energy with something more neutral to positive that helps you change your neurons and what you're got to do it, relax it. Why fight? Why fight? We're going to move energy. We're moving energy, people. We don't need to fight because we move energy and suddenly we are pulsing at a different frequency and our vibration then moves out into the world and it brings to us things of like nature. When you're high vibing like that and you're aware, you're moving out of 3D, third dimension reality is the victim perpetrator, into 4D conscience. I have a conscience. I can't just litter. I'll take it. I'll take the dog poo bag and put it in the back of my car. When I get home, I'll dump it in my trash. To 5D. I have energy that I can move. I have an intuition that I can use to help guide me. It's my inner GPS. I'm going to use it, my given psychic sense. I can create a world in this world. I can create my own bubble that is productive, it's benevolent, it's beautiful, it's conscientious. My needs are met. I may not always know how, but I trust that it's coming. And then we move into 6D. I can transmute energy like that. I can heal my body, my mind. I can open up. I have one foot in the cosmic world, one foot in the physical world, and I can be a conduit of help, service, and healing, but not at the sake of myself. I just gave myself a hot flash. Does that make sense? And with all these energies this month, especially with the full moon in Taurus, 8 degrees, conjunct Uranus in Taurus at 9 degrees, if you are a Taurus or Scorpio, sun, rising, or moon, if you are if you are an Aquarius, Scorpio, Leo, Taurus, toward the end of the month, you're going to have such an aha. Such an aha. Well, it doesn't have to be negative, right? But if you're spinning and you're not in control and you're just blaming then it's not going to feel great. But every opportunity, remember, this just tells us what time it is. What time is it for you? It's time to calm down. It's time to speak up. It's time to eat something healthy. It's time to get some exercise. We're so excited. We bought an adult tricycle. I need to get some exercise. The gym had closed twice. I'm in the house doing my rope, my rebounder trampoline. I've got hand weights. Okay, that's fun. But I want to get out. And a regular bicycle. I have a bone spur in my tailbone from pregnancy. My husband had 2 spinal surgeries. We're thinking a regular bicycle? I don't know. We're going to take it easy, especially with all these things coming up. We weren't going to push the river. So we saw an adult tricycle. It's got a basket at the back. We bought a helmet. We can't wait for it to come. Cha-ching! There's going to be me on my little adult tricycle. And I'm going to feel like I'm in Amsterdam going to the market to get some fresh apples. That's what it's going to feel like to me. So if I feel really happy, even if I just drive in circles around the neighborhood, if it makes me happy, I'm going to create a vibration that when I come into contact with someone else, it's going to be very positive for them. Whether or not they take it, it's up to them. But I've done my job. I made me happy, and it's out there for you. Make sense? You've got that. You can do this. All right, folks, I am coming back on, look at my calendar. So much going on. There's so much today. Boopity-boo. I'll be back on Monday the 5th, and then again Thursday the 8th. But the following week, I will be in Portland visiting my child. And so I'm taking the week off. So we're going to be talking more about the Mercury in retrograde, all these things that are happening on Thursday so that you can get the next version of this intel. Make sense? Okay, so if you're watching this Please comment, please like. If you're watching this in a replay in YouTube, please subscribe, click a little bell, and then you can be apprised of when I upload a new video. Eventually, one day, we will be streaming live to YouTube as well as Facebook. But for now, thank you for being here. Utilize that vibe that you have. Put some positive love into the world, because everything you are, you leave behind. So make that trail of compassion count. Your forward motion, and even in all the retrogrades, you're going to leave something behind every minute of every day. I wish you peace, as always. I'll see you again on Thursday.